now, Meredith.
Yes, I have seen it. We had that entire saga over the other episodes.
It is Slimer. I was correct. That was the name.
Yeah, it sounded familiar.
I wanted to go with like something gooier. But Slimer I guess is gooey.
I was gonna call him Blobby, but then I remembered that was the Jello from Hotel Transylvania. Different franchise.
I'm gonna see if I can get Vail to join us.
Oh, cool. We can have like a surprise guest in the middle of the episode. That would be fun.
Hi!
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? I'm
good.
so sorry. I have been trying to find this email.
That's okay. We're glad you're here.
That's alright. Like, we do introductions.
I'm KJ. This is Meredith and Francis.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Vail. Pronouns she, her, so it's nice to meet all of you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Do you listen to the podcast, or do you follow KJ on TikTok, or like how?
How did we get here?
I've been trying to binge the podcast as much as possible. Unfortunately, during COVID, I'm in Canada.
Oh, us too.
They decided they were going to lock us down again, so the teachers just loaded up the work. When I haven't been working, I found the podcast really recently, and I was binging it, and then I can't remember where I saw someone post, but they were like, oh, here are all these podcasts, and then you guys had
That's so cool.
the sign-up form open, and I was like, oh my god, yes.
That's so awesome, honestly. I'm so glad that you're here.
Good job at shooting your shot.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you. We were just talking about the second Supernatural parody.
Okay, yes, that's a classic.
If you had anything about the first one that you wanted to add, you could totally talk about it as well.
The second one is the Ghostbusters
Yeah.
one, right?
So we were just talking about some of the like more like role type like roles that are in it. So we were talking about the T-Rickster newscaster, Mark
Yes.
Pellegrino as Slimer, like those kind of like more like roles, like speaking roles. As opposed to
Okay.
just the dancing, because like there's a lot of cast here, but a lot of them are, you know, here for a second and gone, but some of them have more like iconic scenes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. It was really funny because when I first saw those videos, I had only watched like 5 seasons. So I didn't know most of the cast, and I barely recognized Misha, but they could not have picked a better role for Misha.
Yeah, honestly, iconic.
Oh, yeah.
When I watched the second one for the first time, I don't think I was this far into it, as it came out after season 13, and I was definitely not there. So I definitely didn't recognize people, especially people who were only on for like a season or two.
Yeah, just lots of checking the cast list and going back in the video and like, wait, where did
Gadriel.
that person show up?
Or like Gil McKinney, who plays Henry Winchester. I don't think I'd met him yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and just all the dancing scenes, like they came in and out really fast, so I had to be pausing and be like, oh my god, how did I not see these the first time around?
And like so many cast members too, like, and it's happening so quickly.
I don't know, I was kind of weirdly fascinated with Gadriel and Henry Winchester, so I recognized them very quickly.
That's fair.
It's always like these minor, ill-fated characters that I just get really attached to, and I don't know why.
I did like that in some of the dance scenes. We got Ozric with Lauren Tom.
Yes.
I love Lauren Tom.
Because even though Ozric Chow is playing Sam Winchester in this, on Supernatural he plays Kevin, and Lauren Tom plays his mom, Linda Tran.
Yes.
Elena Huffman was briefly present. I'm a little bit in love with her. As I am
That's
with most
okay.
of the people on Supernatural. Most of the actresses on Supernatural.
They're
That's
all
because it's
really
American
good.
TV.
Mhm.
American TV gets lots of hot people.
That is true.
You're
Also,
not
they're very
wrong,
talented.
yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and they all seem really nice too, which is why I love the videos so much. It's like, wow, they really got like everyone possible on here.
Yeah.
Like, geez.
They
Like
were
the first one, they
thorough.
got a bunch of people, but like it was a pretty like low commitment, really. Like everybody's in like a pretty white blank set, and they're just dancing. Like that's like an hour or two tops. Like
Just come in your street clothes.
yeah, this is costumes and like sets and everything.
Sets. Yeah.
and actual acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like at that point, you know, they'd already had the first parody, and I think they'd done like a few other things with the cast since then, so
Yeah.
they could do something bigger like this.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that it was a big secret that they had gotten this many cast members. And I remember a con video I watched where Jared was saying that he almost blew a whole bunch of stuff because he really wanted to post a picture of them in the jumpsuit. And he had to be like restrained.
Oh gosh. I know that Hillywood's done like a lot of stuff with Osric since then too.
Yeah.
He was in the Sherlock parody.
Yeah, and the Sherlock parody I think was one of the first ones that came out either before the first one or before the second one.
I don't know, I wasn't
They came
keeping
out
track.
really close together because I remember seeing it when I was scrolling through. I spent a lot of time creeping on the Hillywood YouTube channel this week.
You should.
Also, Alex and Misha have a little scene right at the very, very end.
Oh yeah, I had to explain who he was to my sister Audrey. I don't know why I said my sister Audrey. You should
We
know
just
who
heard
she
from
is
her
by
last
now.
week.
Yes. I had to explain who he was to her.
That's a Ghostbusters reference. Like, that's from the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, and at this point, you can't do something related to Supernatural if you have Alex and Misha in the same room and not have them, like, together. Doing something.
They're just joined at the hip, I guess.
So,
Their father and son.
Yeah.
Yay!
In the show and in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do look kind of similar. It's kind of weird.
It's unsettling how similar
It's
they
eerie.
look. I
It's
like that
uncanny.
they've embraced the joke.
Absolutely.
Also, some people that you know I probably didn't care that much about initially, but care about more now was Adam Rose, who plays, I think his name's Andy or Aaron. I always forget. This is a problem every time. Plays the Jewish one
Oh, yes.
with the golem.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's a big internet celebrity now.
I really want a sitcom of him and his golem.
Yeah, that would
I
have been
would-
an amazing spinoff.
I
Among
want it.
all of the spinoffs that Supernatural could have done and didn't do, that would have been a good one.
I have a whole list of spin-offs they could have done that I would have watched.
I do like that is one of the ones that actually feels like the show was kind of keeping up in like Showtime with it. Like the next time he pops up, it feels like his storyline has been moving forward behind the scenes and we just haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weirdly coherent.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys feeling okay? This is competent.
But Adam Rose is a big TikToker now. He has this whole TikTok thing. He plays himself and he plays his fictional wife, who is probably not based off of his real life. He plays like character is himself that always wears this blue cardigan. And then his wife also wears the same blue cardigan, but he has a blonde wig for the wife.
I'll have to follow him, see what this is about.
Yeah. Also, Adam had a baby last year, so congrats to Adam.
We're very happy for you.
Yeah, his baby's really cute.
Yay, baby.
I also want to talk about something that Hillywood put out after the first Supernatural parody, and they did it again with the second one. I think I only watched the second one all the way through because it's pretty lengthy. Hilly kept a video diary while they were filming, you know, as much as you can when you're filming.
Mm-hmm. I think they do that with a lot of their parodies.
Yeah, and they post as like whatever character it is that she's playing. So she posts like a Dean Winchester video diary. If you enjoyed the Supernatural parodies, I would just like recommend going and watching those as well. They're like 30 to 40 minutes, I feel like they're pretty long, but it's like her and Osric like hanging out between takes and like this is what we're doing today. And like I'm really interested in like the behind the scenes like stories about filming of like this is the location and this is how much time this takes and like this is what goes into shooting the car scenes. Like I like all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool to just hear some of the little things about how they accomplish, you know, things you don't even think about.
Yeah, it's nice to see this, like, these two really polished, amazing pieces of work, but then to, like, go and, like, get, like, a behind-the-scenes view of it.
Yeah, and like see how the actors connect and everything.
And,
Yeah.
like, they're pretty respectful about it. Like, they have some behind-the-scenes footage with some of the actors. There was a lot of behind-the-scene footage from Brianna and Kim Rhodes' day and from Mark Pellegrino's day. But, like, they had no behind-the-scenes footage, really, of, like, Jared and Jensen's because they're like, we didn't have a lot of time. And also, like, when you have Jared and Jensen, they're there to film the thing you're filming. Like, you don't really have time to film anything extra with them.
Yeah, I guess they're busy.
Yeah.
They're worth a little too much for that
Yeah,
now.
you're paying by the hour. and you just gotta get it done. But like, there's lots of behind the scenes stuff like that, and I thought they were really fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just seen a little bit of behind the scenes that happened. Like, I think they had like 2 extra videos on that. I don't think I've watched all of it, but the stuff that I did get to see was pretty amazing.
It's just like a fun, like, a lot of hanging out behind the scenes or traveling. I didn't realize like they had to, the like people that own the Impala that they use, like they had to go and fly to where that Impala was, because, you know, it's expensive to transport a car anywhere.
Oh, it's kind of big.
Yeah.
I guess you can't just drive it.
So you transport the people to where the car lives. And like,
Yeah,
that was the whole
sometimes
thing.
I wonder how things can cost so much, but then like you're looking at small productions like this and you're like, wow, like for the small amount of money they had, they did such a good job with it.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
a few donation things before the parody came out. Like, between the time they announced it, they did some donation, like, fundraising. But even still, like, as much money as they make off this, they spend so much money on making the next thing this good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like all of their projects are just so good and amazing, and they're just so good at recreating costumes and sets. And we already said this, but it needs to be said again.
it really does, honestly. I just wanted to see, I know I pulled the number for how many people watched the first one, but I don't think I pulled it for the second one.
Yeah, just the overall like feel of the sets and stuff is so like adorable and perfect for what they're trying to get across.
Yeah, the second one has been viewed 7 million times.
That's a few, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good for them.
yeah, just a
Oh, yeah.
couple views. But it does have 383,000 likes, which
That's
is an extra
probably a
step.
really good ratio then.
I don't think we talked about the end yet, where Jared and Jensen actually arrive on the set. We talked about the
We
fact that
haven't
they
gotten there
are
yet, no.
there, but I don't think we talked about what they did there. Because it was kind of amazing. They did some voiceover work for Ozric and Hilly
Yeah.
when they needed to talk. Sometimes it's actually Hilly and Ozric, and other times it's Jared and Jensen, just depending on what noises they needed.
Right. It just never occurred to me that was actually them doing the voiceover work. I just thought they got like voice actors like they usually do.
But no, because they had Jared and Jensen on set, they could just...
That is awesome. Okay, I just learned something.
Well, I thought that too. I thought they were voice actors until you could hear Dean say, you know, son of a bee. And I was like, oh, that's Jensen.
Yeah.
I was like, no one says it like Jensen.
Yeah, you just need that one phrase and then you're like, oh, it is them.
It's his catchphrase.
I think during the like Mark Pellegrino Slimer scene, I think Sam is yelling for Dean, and I think that's when I realized that it was Jared.
I have a distinct memory of just like, Sammy! And I'm like, okay, no, it is them.
Definitely them. But then at the end of so Hilly and Ozric have been playing Sam and Dean this entire time, and then at the end we get this like knocking on the door, and they're like visibly afraid, and they're like hiding behind a table, and the door like busts down in a cloud of like fog, which is amazing. And then it's Jensen and Jared, and they have their own Ghostbuster suits, but they say Ackles and Padalecki on them,
Which is very clever.
which is amazing.
It's great because, you know, we need 4 Ghostbusters anyway.
Yeah, and then we get a shot of the 4 of them all like doing like a slow motion running leap.
And like Hilly's facial expression is exactly the same as Jensen's. Like, it's great. They're like clones.
Ozric and Jared's hair is flowing.
That hair.
It's like only one of it's a wig.
Oh, this was also the one I started talking about in the first one, but it's from this one. They recreated a few scenes from the seasons as well, mostly from season 13, I believe, like 12 and 13, because this came out right at the end of season 13. But I remember it's an episode with Donna. It's like a Donna episode with all these costumes, and if you put the costume on, you like get stuck in it, you become a killer, and Sam has to fight a killer clown in an elevator.
Yes.
And, you know, last week we covered Everybody Loves a Clown, so clowns were fresh on my brain. In the behind-the-scenes video diary, you can see Ozric has to stand on a box so he looks taller than the person in the clown outfit, because Ozric is not as tall as Jared.
It's okay.
He
I want to
looks
be
tall
taller
compared
too.
to Hilly Hindi, because Hilly Hindi is like a pixie.
She's like 5'2".
Yeah, she's very petite.
I was watching behind the scenes for their Hunger Games parody where she was playing the TV dude I only watched one of those movies. Anyway, but she had to wear these, like, really, really tall, like, high heels that they used for one of their Lady Gaga videos, just so she looked taller than the people that she was standing with. It was so funny.
Yeah, they're really good at working around that. I just laughed when I saw Ozar Chow standing on, like, a milk crate in a fake elevator.
For the X-Files, they had this thing that was just called the Scully Box. Because Gillian Anderson is a lot shorter than David Duchovny.
Yeah, and they have to kind of even them up.
Yeah,
So
no,
they
just for
fit
those close-ups.
in frame, yeah. I was in the